Hello and welcome to this video. So in this video I am going to explain you basic CRUD operation of book API where user can create, update, delete and get all the book. So before starting with the API, let's start with the code part. So can you understand what I implemented? So before starting with the code part, I am explaining you what tech stack I have used in this project. So in this project I have used Express as a Node.js framework and MongoDB as a database and Mongoose as a ORM. So if I talk about the directive structure, then there is a controller where I've implemented the business logic of this project, and there is a model where I'm storing the schema, and there is a route where all routes are stored here, and there is a utils where I'm storing the file like CSS where I'm using the handling the error. So this is all about here, and let's start with this code. So first talk about the package.json. So in this package.json, basically there is a script for a start, and there is a main where server.js, that is the main file. And if I talk about the script, so there is a tool script that is for starting to development mode or starting this production mode. And I have used the repository for GitHub. So this is the Git repository URL, and this is the author, and there is some dependencies like what packages I've used. So there is a bcrypt and bcrypt.js. So basically I've used bcrypt.js to encrypt the password or storing hashed password in the database. So by help of bcrypt we are encrypting the password and storing the password to the database. So basically the role of bcrypt.js is to encrypt the password. And if I talk about .env, so I've used .env to get data from the env file, and I've used express as a framework. So there is the express and JSON web token. So I've used the JSON web token to send token back if user is signing up or logging in. And there is a MongoDB that is for database, and there is a Mongoose which for ORM. So let's start with server. So in this server there is the app. So just go to the app.js, and in the app.js I'm requiring the express. So the express is making here the executable, and by help of app I'm using here express.json and express URL encoded to get the data from the postman. Like here I'm passing the data from the body. If I'm not using the express URL encoded, then I will not get the body data. So here is the app.use and /route. So this is for accessing all routes here, and if there is no routes matching to the this routes, then this will come in the app.all, and I will get error that this URL is not on this server and the status was 40. And I am also handling the globally error handler. So I will use the global error handler, and I am exporting app here and requiring in the server.js. So you can see here, and I am requiring the database also. So here is the database, and I am also counting here uncount exception so that our server not getting shut down instantly. It will the shut down, and it will show the error also. So I'm running on local port of 8000 or process.env port, and I'm listening the app at the port 8000 or the process.env port that comes through the env file. So basically I'm listening at the app. So now let's start with the routes. So I'm using here the versioning routes. So inside the routes there is API, and API inside there p1, and p1 inside there two main route. One is book and another is user. So first start with the user.js. So inside the user there is the API for sign up and login. So If I talk about the business logic of the sign up, then I'm storing the business logic of sign up in the controller. So let's go to the controller. And if I talk about the sign up functionality, then basically I'm destructuring here the required fields, that is name, email, password, confirm password, and etc. So this comes from the request.body, and I'm storing in the user model. So if I talk about the model, then I have stored here inside the model there is a user model. So inside the user model, you can see here I've created one schema, and inside the schema I'm expecting the name, email, password confirm, and login attempt and log until. So these are the very interesting things, that if a user trying to access the route again and again with the wrong password, then at the time at the limited time he will get blocked. So I will show the functionality in the login function, so you can understand there, and log until that how much time they will get blocked. So I've used some pre and pre middleware that will be the execute before the schema will export that data. So I'm also converting the user to the model by help of mongoose.model. So this is the concept of user model, where I'm expecting what things and what is the required and what message will be just throw in the error. So I was storing. Okay. So now let's start with the port controller, where I'm storing the data. And after the storing the data, I'm sending back to the token. So I've created create send token function, where I'm expecting the created new user data and also with the status code request response. So I'm sending this to the create send data, and I'm assigning here one token, that is the sign token function, where by help of jwt.sign I'm passing here the payload and the jwt secret, the secret, and also the expiration, that is telling us that how much time after how much time that will be the get expired. So, and also I'm sending back to the cookie in the jwt token, and with the I'm here doing the user.password to be undefined, because I'm not want to send the password to the in the response, so I'm making it undefined. And here I'm passing the token as well as the user data, that what I do. Then let's start with the login. So if login part, okay, so this is the login part, and you can see here that catch async, that is basically I'm not using the try catch block and again and again. So I made one catch async error handler. So let's go to the catch async, and I'm expecting the request response and next, and this function will catch the error and send to the next, and that will come inside the app.js, and inside the app.js there is a global error handler that will count by the global error handler, and inside the global error handler there is different types of error handled in the, like if it is in development mode and getting some error like suppose that if the if error.name is cast error, so that is coming through the API, then it will go to the handle cast error DB function, and here I'm handling this, and that will be the show in the response like this, that incorrect email password or like that. So let's go to the login part. And inside the login part, I'm expecting the request and request that have the email and password. So I'm comparing that if not email and not password, then I will throw the error that please provide the email and password. And I'm finding by help of email that this is inside the user model, or like if I'm expecting that this username is inside my DB or not. So I'm checking here, and if not user, then simply I'm throwing the error on the request on incorrect email or password. Or if the user is correct and not a correct password, then also I'm showing that incorrect email or password. So I made the common error for email or password because to for the security purpose. Okay, so I am implemented that. Suppose that user login attempt fail, then it will increase by 1. And if the login attempts is greater than 10, greater than or equal to 10, then it will block the user for a 15,000 milliseconds from the current date. Grant daytime, and suppose that is everything okay, then it will send token to the response. Okay, so here I'm setting also the back login to be 0 and log until to the undefined. Okay, and sending back to the token. And I've also implemented one middleware to protect the route, so that I'm expecting the headers to be authorization, and start with the bearer. And suppose that suppose that token is coming, so I'm splitting here, and I'm getting the, and I'm taking the first index. And suppose that if request and request comes, and basically I'm here implemented the conditional check, like if the request is coming, then that will be there, and like that. So if there is the token coming from the cookies, like from browser, so that will be also be checked here and the store. If no token, then that will get the error. And I'm also decoding here and verifying that this token is valid or not. So I'm sending to the press user, storing in the press user, and checking also that if not a press user, then the user belongs to the token does not longer exist, like that I'm sending message as a response. And suppose that is everything okay, then this will go to the next also, and the request or user will be the press user. Okay, so this is the concept of login and sign up. So let's start with the book API. And you can see here one interesting thing, that the book API and user API is required in the index.js. So that also is required in the one level up in the Q1 where index.js, and inside the API inside the index.js. So I'm basically trying to achieve the property of versioning. So let's start with books. And inside there is the one route is for create. So I use the post method and get to get all books, and I am protecting the route that is to for create, so that route controller to protect that middleware is applied in this route. And also I apply to the delete patch and delete by user ID, by the book ID. So if the user is logged in, then they can access the route for get book by ID and update and delete. Okay, so if I talk about the business part of this, basic CRUD operation. Then let's come up with the book controller. So in the book controller, I am just calling the handle factory. So I'm storing the factory and factory dot create one and factory dot create one, factory dot create one, and factory dot update one. So let's come with the factory function. And inside there, I have used the function delete one, update one, create one, and get on and get on. So basically, I have done like this because suppose that if I am working with multiple APIs that have the same functionality to create, update, delete, then I can use the same concept to do the data routes also, because I am expecting the model here, and this model will come through the in book controller I am passing here the model, and in the create one just I am passing the model, and inside the model I am doing the create functionality to create the data in the database by help of request.body that comes in the request body, and I am sending back to the response. So I have done everything like this also to get one and get all also, and delete functionality. So these are the code part where I've used the what logics I've used, and inside the config I've used the mongoose that that is basically for connect the database. Okay, so let's come up with the API. So basically there is the user, and there is login and sign up. Let's try with the book API. So this is the get on. So first I have to add some book. So try to add one book, that is the dark story. So I'm getting that you are not logged in. Yes, because this is the protected route. So let's first log in, and before login I have to sign up. So suppose that this is the sign up and I didn't get sign up. So I'm getting that duplicate key error. It means that this user is already existing. So let's go to the get all, and I have to do one thing, like in the authorization I have to select the bearer token. So I'm selecting bearer token, and JWT comes from because I have set the environment here, and in the environment there is the null. So I have to also set the token here back. So let's set the token. Okay, so let's try to log in. Okay, I hope this is logged in here, and I am copying the token here and go to the get all. Basically get all property will execute this because I haven't make it protected. So this is the protected, and inside the authorization I have to select the bearer token. So let's check. Yes, it comes through the login. So now I'm trying to create and successfully, yes, getting the duplicate key error because this is already exist. So the same name of the, so the same title will not be okay. So suppose the dark, yes, it did successfully, and I'm getting the success message. Okay, great. And I'm sending get out. So let's try to get out. So I'm getting the, so you can see here that I'm getting all the data that is in my database of focus schema. So suppose I want to see only this by ID. So copying this ID and let's pass to the get book by ID. Okay, so I'm passing here and we are not logged in here because I have to set the authentication here a token here and if getting the data. Great. So suppose that I want to update some data in this bouquet. So suppose that I want to update this summary. So let's hit the button and yes, we are not logged in. Divide this with the private route. So select the dealer token here and let's try again. Yes, and getting the data to be updated. Let's check to the database. So come to the data. Yes, and check one thing also that the dark, the title is the dark. So let's the dark and as you can see here the dark, this is the updated data you can see here. And at the time of creation the summary was this is the test data and I have updated by update book. Suppose I want that this is the unwanted data and I want to delete this. So let's copy this ID and go to the delete and let's paste this ID and again I'm getting we are not logged in. Yes, and getting success and data to winner because data is getting deleted. So let's check if the data actually deleted or not. So let's find and you can see here there is no data which title is that dark. Yes, so everything working properly. Okay, so thank you.